I can't get that night out of my head. It was like the waking of the dead, baby. Oh, I'm going through withdrawals. 'Cause only one time was not enough. Knowing an encore is what I'd love. Maybe? Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. It doesn't seem fitting to say post-apocalyptia on my regular channel now, does it? Those of you here who are normal fans of my of our live streams over on the East Corp channel, this is a very familiar format, but I don't actually live stream over here all that often for a number of reasons. Just kind of separate the channels into those themes, because our East Corp channel became a big live streaming channel with our podcasts and stuff. It's more fitting to keep everyone over there. And at the same time, probably no one is awake right now. It is 10:30 in the evening Pacific time, Los Angeles time, which means it is 1:30 Pacific or Eastern, 1:30 Eastern in the morning, and then also probably like 7 or 8 a.m. In the old world in Europe. And etc. South Africa. But I just finally went through my email when I woke up from a very nice nap this afternoon and discovered something that I wasn't expecting. So, for those of you who've probably been around my channel for a while, it's always been a parody channel. I make fun little pony versions of songs that already exist and kind of put my own little creative spin on them. It was really just a creative expression for me way back in the day when all my other creative outlets were basically blocked off for me at the time, in the old times in 2012, when I had such a busy college schedule that I couldn't do local theater, and I couldn't do anything else that I used to really enjoy in high school and college. So then this magical little colorful cartoon horse show became a giant online fandom, and I was lucky enough to actually be on the ground floor of something for once, which is very rare. But yeah, and so it started off just I did a parody of "What's This" by Danny Elfman from the Nightmare Before Christmas, and a couple of other songs as they went along. And now it's filmed something like 200 parodies, mostly on this channel, and also a few of them spread out in different other places. Yeah, so it's been like that. I've seen pretty much all the phases of YouTube after the very beginning. Very beginning years of YouTube was like 2005 through 2008. Then there was like phase 2, which I'd argue was 2008 to 2012, and then I believe 2012 is when Google officially acquired YouTube, and that was when YouTube began the hard merge of Google Plus. Oh my God, does anyone remember that now? I think it was right after Google Plus integration when I actually started my channel and started doing stuff. So I don't remember those before times, but it was always just something fun to do, and obviously it was much simpler times back then as far as copyright went. Well, it could be argued. It could be argued that I've heard a lot of stories that phase 2, that 2008 to 2012 window, there was a lot of cleaning up, because that was right after their major lawsuit court case with whatchamacallit, with Viacom. If you want to see the history of that, it's on the Emperor Lemon channel. He did a whole little doc on YouTube's legal war with Viacom or Google or whatever. And yeah, so otherwise though, I've been mostly just cruising. It's the keep your head down kind of mentality, where it's like I'm such a small weed, hidden in the vast parking lot that is YouTube that I don't think anyone would have noticed me, but someone did. Ooh, someone found me just sitting out there in the middle of nowhere, soaking up my little pittance of sunlight through the cracks of concrete, of corporate paved concrete over what used to be a nice natural living environment. And they poured they poured gasoline on it, or I can't think of a more fitting analogy for what the song was. Okay, teasing aside, intro aside, so I received my first copyright strike yesterday, where a relatively recent song, I did a parody of Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Can't put the E in there, the E is silent, The Weeknd. And it's a relatively new song, which I think contributed to why it was singled out for this unfortunate treatment. I believe it initially released in like November of last year, 2019. You remember 2019? Speaking of before times. And so I heard the song over, I believe, Christmas or something. I heard it on a video or something and really caught my ear. And so I downloaded it and I thought, that's a really fun song. And when I was looking for parody ideas for Valentine's Day, Hearts and Hooves Day song, which became a new thing I started doing way back in 2017 with The Human Touch, the Lyra song. And then the second year was Date Night Riot, the parody of the Cherry Poppin' Daddies. God, what a fucking band name. And then last year I did that successful, big air quotes there, cover of Bored to Death by Blink-182, because I do so love that song so much, and I so cannot sing in that genre whatsoever. And I tried my best, and now we just forget about that. But then this year I thought, okay, here's another genre I haven't attempted in a long time. I think the last like straight electronica kind of genre I did was Don't You Worry, Little Sister, which was a parody of Don't You Worry, Child by the Swedish House Mafia way back in 2013, which tells you, I should have stayed away. I should have known after that very horrid attempt at doing electronic music. I shouldn't have tried it again. But after I got like one demo track laid of Blinding Lights, I was feeling good. I thought this is a really fun parody. It's a song, a character I've wanted to do for a long time, old Vinyl Scratch. And no, instead BPI, the British Phonographic Industry, had other plans. They didn't like the fact that I had used the original instrumental from The Weeknd. So that wasn't kosher. It wasn't a silly karaoke version that I found from Cara Fun or Swing Staff Karaoke or something that, they don't give a fuck, because that's the whole point. It's supposed to be fun. So, before we get into the story of Blinding Lights, though, I thought I recognized BPI. I'm like, wait a second, where have I seen this before? So let me tell you a little story about something that happened on the East Corp channel just a little bit ago. I believe, I want to say it was, let me pull up the email. April. It was in the current times, the post-plague times, when I first had contact with the British phonographic industry, also known as the British recording industry. Music recording, and whatever. They're fucking RIAA of Bongland. That's what they are. And I was like, wait, what are these people? But last time, when it was on the East Corp channel, it was not something that honestly they had legitimate claim to. Like, I'm not going to argue that it's within their purview probably to strike the Blinding Lights Weeknd instrumental. But my first contact with them was much less justifiable, Because what was the song that they decided they owned? They themselves, the British music recording industry of Bongland, owned Every Story Must Come to an End. I'm not kidding you. The re-upload of Every Story Must Come to an End that we put on the East Corp channel on October 29th after we dramatically left Stabletech Studios, they claimed that as one of their songs. Let me find the original notification. Copyright from them, April 20... Here we go. Copyright takedown notice from April 27th in the year of our plague, 2020. Hi, East Corp Productions. Due to a copyright takedown notice that we received, we had to take down your video from YouTube. The video titled Every Story Must Come to an End, parentheses, CWP theme, parentheses, the Balefire Industry, Symphony, has been taken down by BPI, the British Recording Music Industry Limited. This means that your video can no longer be played on YouTube. Bold letters. You have received a copyright strike. You now have one copyright strike. If you get multiple copyright strikes, we will disable your account. To prevent that from happening, please don't upload videos containing copyrighted content that you aren't allowed to use. Now, this was when I was in the very middle of production of Confessions series finale, the radio host. I was very overworked. I was putting so much time into getting that shit done on the 6th anniversary on June 15th that I was taking caffeine pills. I was really going at it hard. And so I had very little tolerance for bullshit. Now, as I've laid out at the beginning here, I'm not going to argue that some videos have legitimate claim that they can take down if they want. Usually they just, we put ads on the video and we put a little note saying, go buy the Linkin Park original, Castle of Glass. Totally fine. My small 4,000 or 5,000 view video that hasn't been viewed in 2 years. Yeah, when they come along, let them go after Castle of Glass, which I credit in the title of the videos for my silly parodies or whatever song it is. That's totally fine. But when I saw this for something that they don't have claim to whatsoever. So the video, for those of you who haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a while, there's an entire opening segment where it's just a little fun dialogue segment. It's Velvet Remedy. She walks into a bar, and there's Rusty Cage, played by, Rusty Pone. I don't know. He didn't have a last name. It was Rusty's bar. And they have a little dialogue. It's the two VAs from Stabletech Studios, and it's a fun little thing just to set up the song, to set up the context. It's a great way to, little song special for the first Confessions way back in 2014. And then it goes to the song itself. And the song itself is a totally original composition by PSP 7 Master as part of the Balefire Symphony, when me and him developed it and expanded the way the guitar flowed, and then I added in the violin in the bridge, which was all me, and then the effects and stuff on the back end. It's completely original. The art drawn by Victor Brony. Completely original. And so the fact that they, some bullshit music executive industry are going to try to claim our song as theirs and put this big black, stain on our channel, like we're some villains, wearing a scarlet letter for our sin of, violating the copyright of who? Fucking me? Who's? So I decided, okay, this is not acceptable. So, where's my letter? Here we go. If you would like to, if you believe this strike was made in error, you may. It didn't give me too many options. One of the only options was you can message the the creators, or otherwise they just win. Which again, thanks Susan that you just, of course, side with the multi-billion-dollar corporations over the little creators. Yeah, broadcast yourself to go fuck yourself. Here was my response. Hello. Our video has received a copyright claim from your organization, which caused its removal from YouTube and copyright strike on our channel. And then I placed the hyperlink of the video in question, which was taken down. It was no longer visible on YouTube. Let me add one more quick bit of context. This was right in the middle of our development of our big remix, the orchestral remix that James Kelly was working on of this song, so that we can have a really big, awesome promo for the finale. And I'm like, God, if this goes down, so I can't even repost that and get people familiar with it again before we drop that big finale remix that we were both working hard on, I would be the slightest bit upset. My email continues. Your claim has been made by mistake. Not only am I the video's writer and creative director, it is my music and voice used in the video. It was created independently, not through a formal music association. And also, I happen to be American and would likely have not done so, would have done so under an American label if I so chose. Regardless, the Balefire Symphony is my music collective, and it is our intellectual property, which you have falsely claimed as your own. Please release the strike on our video so it can be fully restored. Thank you. Signed, SkyBolt. And of course, what is their response, which I'm sure is just as automated as the system they blame? Hi, it looks like our automated systems picked up this video by accident. It has now been retracted. Apologies for any inconvenience caused. Thank you, BPI CPU. Okay, yeah, Central Processing Unit. Thank you for finally releasing our video. I believe it was pretty quick. I'd say it was a day or so after my less my less than forgiving email. So that happened then. That was my first contact with them, which I'm guessing they're just pouring a bunch of opium into the servers of their little copyright robot so it can go dancing its way across YouTube and make sure that BPI is enforcing its will across the entire internet. And so, of course, then I would get today a similar video from them, which I didn't even know, like, I didn't think that the Weeknd was British or whatever. So just for the hell of it, I decided to look up what is the British phonographic industry. BPI, the British Recording Music Industry Limited, commonly known as British Phonographic Industry or simply BPI, is the British Recorded Music Industry's trade association. The structure is, its membership is comprised of hundreds of music companies, including all three major companies in the UK, Warner Music UK, Sony Music Entertainment, and Universal Music Group, as well as hundreds of independent music labels from small to medium size. Thank you to the BPI lawyer for adding that to the Wikipedia article. Formed in 1973, 47 years ago, it is a, big quotes, non-profit company. So the best way to describe this is a bunch of major music corporations got together and summoned this avatar, a non-profit company that can go out and do all the actual butchering for them. Meanwhile, they sit at a distance with that step removed of, oh, no, that's the independent non-profit company of BPI is what is helping the copyright of our creators, not the giant gold tower music executives. No, of course not. So I get the email. Yeah, Blinding Lights has been removed for all the same stuff. It's fair. Obviously, it's fair. I recognize it, but God forbid I would let that stand without at least mentioning the context of my relationship with the British phonographic industry. And I'll point out, just for the heck of it, that there's still a way that you can view the Oh god, is it not going to drop in now? You son of a bitch. Okay, give me a second. Why are you not adding the PNG? Why? Let's rename it. Nope, that didn't do it either. Okay, whatever. It's on pony.fm, which you can go to from almost all my other videos. There's a link to the Pony FM version of my of that song in particular, and this is of course still on Pony FM as well. You just have to go to my page and Google search, Control F for it, and it's up there. So let's check the comments on this middle of the night stream. Hello, Chris Blessings. It's good to see you, our fellow Norwegian. DJ Pyrotechnic says, "Rip to the ponyfied parody of Blinding Lights," and then Kid Wizard says, "Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me in these witching hours to discuss the hex placed on my channel by some corporation." So I guess disappointed but not surprised. Obviously my content has been a little thin lately, not for lack of effort, but because my energies were placed elsewhere. So all my all my videos since the new year, first one is gone, which was Blinding Lights. It's a great, Hearts and Who's song. I thought it turned out okay. We have a snippet from my reading of What the Fick episode. We have the hyperlink to now I'm doing a character in the Fallout Equestria Dead Tree audiobook series where I'm Nyota, including the music that James Kelly and myself did with Forest Rain, which was fantastic. So there's a hyperlink to our Great Experiment documentary, another one of the songs for the finale, a link for the Confessions finale, and another What the Fick excerpt. So, it hasn't been the most music-fied in the last year or so. Last year I had a lot of odd ones. I had like Brains and Smile. It's beginning to look a lot like Winter. A decent amount of songs last year, but yeah. So I guess I'll update you on what else I've been doing on other channels that aren't this one with East Corp. Now that Confessions is done, I've been putting effort back into the visual development of Wasteland Survival Guide. So the actual physical book is mostly, well, not physical book, but the physical PDF, the graphic pages are almost done, except for a few images and artworks that haven't come out yet for, I wait until we're actually doing the videos before I do the artwork. So just a couple of episodes remaining. I think it's less than 10 now that are left to release, including the Afterward, which is going to be so great. I'm looking forward to whenever those come out because it's going to be so fun. And then on top of that, I'm developing my own short form radio play series for the channel because Vermont has outpaced me. He's had his Aria Moon series going on now, a great cyberpunk story, and then they have their Off the Starboard Bow sort of unique writing. What is it? Like the bunch of writers and they can't look at the previous writing or something. It's got a creative premise, so he's got those going on, so I got to compete with that now. And honestly, after Pony ended, I'm kind of like I'm thin on parodies. It's it's just whenever it comes, whenever I think of something fun. I do have a handful of I think fun parodies that I want to get out there eventually. But now, especially with this, so after reviewing, going to copyright content school on the channel, which was like a multiple choice, like 5-question test, I will have the strike on my channel for 90 days. So October 21st, right before our East Corp 4th anniversary show, I will try to put more stuff up on the channel here. I don't know what those things will be. Maybe they'll be like this. Maybe I'll just do like a monthly quote-unquote Banana Cast live stream to just bullshit about something to keep content on the channel without risking another copyright thing when I'm still under a copyright strike. Yeah, I guess I could put an adage too. If there are any videos of mine you really liked from the channel or whatever, might be a good idea to download them and save them. I don't know. Yeah, obviously, I've got them all saved on my computer too, but it's like, yeah, it might be a good idea. I don't know. If they're just going to, if they're just going to cocaine all of their robots to go through, go through the channel and go through the site and just keep cleaning out, things that aren't jelly with the major companies. So I don't know. But I guess the thing I was focused on, at least the last couple of years, the main thing was getting all of our Fallout Equestria stuff done. After we broke free from Stabletech Studios, and that was the main thing. I had this big story with Confessions, and we had Terminal Secrets, and now Wasteland Survival Guide, and it's just we wanted to finish those stories. We had these really big, epic things, and I think we did that. And we had a lot of fun with our fanfic readings, and we have a lot of other silly stuff that goes on over there. So I guess we're kind of in the transition phase at East Corp of being not post-pony, but like, having more non-pony content things on there. And then other things like What the Fic will also, I'll still be, it's pony fanfics and stuff that we'll make fun of. And with the podcasts and stuff, they'll still be fun, but just have other series. I know Vermont, the reason he started so early with like Untypical and stuff was he really wanted to get more awards from that, the audio drama, whatever awards in October of each year. And he's done so, which is very commendable. So I have like some novels I'm working on that I'm gonna publish on Amazon eventually, whenever I actually get them done. But yeah, I still do enjoy radio plays. I like the short form dopamine releases of radio plays and stuff. That's why I came to YouTube in the first place, was just for creative expression. And so the new series I have been working on, I am very excited. And luckily, even before this happened, I decided I'm going to compose the music myself, the main theme, and then the filler is just atmospheric, like, atmospheric soundscaping, so that's easy to compose. But I'm really glad I did that now, even though we have this like music deal with Frederator, Channel Frederator, which we don't really talk about. Like, the most we get is a few pennies a month from the pittance of views that we get, which helps. It's a little something. But one of the main benefits from them actually is we have access to a background music library that supposedly we're allowed to use, completely not copyright free. We credit them, but it's like Vermont's the one who's been testing this the most with this series, where it's just you can use it and monetize from it as long as it's under the heading of a Channel Frederator associated channel, and that's really cool. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah, now that I have my main theme done for this series, that's probably the main thing. I'm not gonna do parody songs for those. It wouldn't fit anyway. You'll understand once it releases, and I'll notify this channel once it releases. So I think it'll be fun. It's a little it's very unique. I'll say that. The genre is unique, and then the inspiration I'll make clear in one of the live streams, but you'll be able, it'll make sense to you when you see it. So what else? Chris Blessings, oh my gosh. Corporations are great. Yeah, it's so fun. Twilight Voice books. Banana Cast, it basically is. Adderall bot. I wish it were that easy. Can I take slightly more Adderall to outrun the robot? Is that how that works? I know that's how it worked in my university. Heyo! Back in my university days. It was, of course, the hot drug was everyone was taking their kid brother or kid sister's Adderall to get through tests and stuff. I recently discovered, I didn't even know this was a thing. I take prescription propranolol, LOL, for migraines, which I've had for like 7 years now, which was one of the As strong as my grandparents were and everything they survived in their lifetimes, my grandmother suffered from intermittent migraines, and I did inherit that, so that's fantastic. So I take propranolol as migraine daily prevention, and I only found out after the fact that apparently a lot of people consider propranolol like Adderall, like it's a performance enhancer. So I didn't know that for many years, but that's it's kind of interesting. So, does that mean Pfizer Chemical has the copyright to my songs also? Who knows? um, comment from Chris Blessings. So, what is new? I'm not going to try to do the accent. I'm sorry. What is the new series, pony or non-pony? It is non-pony. So, it is completely original theme, completely original characters. I will give a hint though. It can be considered an alternate history series. Like, goes way far back though. It's not recent alternate history, that's for sure. Alternate history in fantasy. It's definitely like, there's the broad subgenre of fantasy sci-fi. This falls much more under fantasy. Like 75% fantasy, 25% sci-fi. Like, there's sci-fi in the sense that they are researching or searching for something in a quote-unquote scientific method kind of way, but it's very fantastical and magical. I guess I could say magical. It's magical in the way that like Atlantis Lost Empire. I'll say that. That's a very close to the kind of thing I'm going for, and you'll understand after the first couple episodes. So I think it'll be fun. It's a bit of a solo project too, where I'm trying to do the simple thing of just like I'm the main narrator and it's told sort of in journalistic like entries. It's very, I guess I could say it's very Wasteland Survival Guide in form in that sense, but I do have a plan, and the format allows for just little pop-in segments with other voice actors and actresses. So we'll see how those roll out, because there is an ensemble cast of the main characters, friends, and family. So maybe we'll have some people pop in and out as different characters. Who knows? Mainly, I was so afraid of just losing VAs again. That's the thing. If I could change anything about Confessions, obviously I would change that we kept Nathikana and Ian Anderson through all the way to the end as the original VAs. We did lose a VA much earlier on, actually. We lost the original Homage VA from... You can still see it on the Duchess Horror video on the Stabletech channel, the original Homage VA, which still drives me crazy. The whole reason she joined Stabletech was to play Homage in something, and when the engineer script was done, I had this big thing on a plate for her, but that was when Stabletech was falling from space, like the opening of Return of Revenge of the Sith, falling from space, and her and Tyler and a bunch of other people were just yeeting themselves off the ship before it crashed. It's just kind of sad, though. It's like all this Homage content she could have been a part of with the series if only she'd at least held on for mine. I don't know. But of course, Maddie's been fantastic, Hypner Dunk, and then of course we got Maddie for Freezy, which was even better. So yeah, so it should be fun. I think it'll be exciting. And then so that's kind of what I'm working on too. Like I said, I don't know if I'll do another music thing here for a little bit. Maybe I'll have to wait until Halloween just to make sure that strike lifts first before I do another parody of some kind. But maybe there's some other kind of video I can put here. Maybe I can put, if I do premiere the series, I can put the theme. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I'm not going to let the channel, even though in the later years, a lot more of my efforts have been in East Corp and other places. So the Symphonic Metal Opera is all the effort I put in, on the L Trains channel. But I still try to post something here like once a month, something like that. Thank you for those who subscribed. I know I appreciate all of your views and following, See, it's good to have the fans. We love the fans. How long have I been talking? This has been very ephemeral. 35 minutes? That's it? Damn. And you see, it hasn't blipped out yet. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but we haven't had a strange pause in connectivity like we have on the East Corp channel sometimes. Oh, I could tell another copyright story. This is more of a fun story than sad. When did this happen? No, not that one. That was the hard one. Yeah, here it is. Okay, let's see if I could drag this on screen. No, you're not going to let me drag this either? Ah, oh, damn it. Okay. Okay, whatever. This is a funny one regarding let me find the original art. Maybe I can put that on screen. Completed projects. There we go. All right, give me artwork. There we go. Alrighty. So, one of my earliest videos, what the early 2013 videos, I decided I would make a very foolish attempt to do a cover of Rainbow Factory in like an a cappella kind of thing. This is kind of early on in my music experience, I guess, relatively speaking, but especially early on in my channel of self-produced music kind of stuff. But for this, I thought, hey, you know what would be fun? I would try this to make it all spooky, like it's a choir of Rainbow Factory workers doing the actual singing for the song. And I like rewrote like 7 or 8 instrument parts, and they all had their own little music loops. You can go to it; it's still up on the channel. Obviously, this isn't the video whose death we're celebrating right now. This is still on the channel. But when did I get this? This was in, where's the date? It was last year sometime. I want to say it was like November or something. So, anyway, I get an email copyright claim on this video. Yeah, your video has been copyrighted by Hasbro Studios LLC. Type of content: My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Now, this is 7 years after I started the channel, and of all the things on my channel, this has the least copyrighted content from Hasbro. So this is what I wrote in the Discord the day it happened. Never gotten a copyright strike from Hasbro before. Surprisingly, tons of my videos, the ad revenue goes to the song owner or something, right? That don't care. Understandable. But of my entire discography across like 4 channels, they copyright strike the thing with the least amount of original MLP content. The Rainbow Factory is a fan song written and composed by Glaze, the wooden toaster, containing no original music created or owned by Hasbro or DHS. None of the graphics used are from the show either, obviously, because there isn't an episode of My Little Pony where they actually do have a factory where they grind the corpses of ponies into rainbows. It's not really a thing. The only thing in this background art for my song is the image of Cloudsdale, which I took from one of those early episodes, like the one where they're racing or whatever, and Rarity has the butterfly wings. And most of that is covered up by that little shitty rainbow bar graphic, and then the Rainbow Factory graphic, which was done by some brony at some point. The least amount of Hasbro-owned material. And on top of that, the song that they're striking is my shitty a cappella cover, which contains literally no sounds except for my own voice. Literally nothing. It is my voice, and then at the very beginning, there's a pencil tapping on my pop filter like this. Which I like, you know, it's like an orchestra conductor tapping his little, whatever, the wand, the dildo on his music stand. That's it. It's literally the only sounds are my voice doing a song where the musical copyright for the composition are owned by Glaze Wooden Toaster. And so this was my analogy. It's like firing a shotgun at a barn, and the only grain that hits flies through two of the windows of the barn and strikes the outhouse behind the barn. That is how, like, completely off that this strike was on Rainbow Factory. I just found that funny, especially because that's one of the videos. Again, it did not turn out well in my opinion, and I did a much better version months later, where I just did a full orchestration of some drums and like some spooky harpsichord and shit for Halloween. Sounds so much better. Isn't even worth checking out this version. And so the ultimate version then ended up on the Villainy compilation album in 2015, which is the best version. But yeah, just the fact that this would be one of the things. So I don't know. It's like I have the worst luck with these copyright robots where they're copywriting things that are like the least legitimate until Blinding Lights anyway. It's just like really random shit. Surprisingly, I've done parodies of the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, the Beach Boys. None of them have I gotten anything like this for. So it's kind of surreal. Yeah, knock on wood. Hopefully I don't. So yeah, download my videos like I'm about to get yeeted from the channel. I probably won't. It's probably fine, but I'm still going to be careful because this hasn't happened before. I don't actually want to tempt fate. I'm trying to make happy light of the situation with this, and also to point out to people that you can still find the song somewhere if you did enjoy it for some reason. You can go to mypony.fm and it's there for download. So spooky, scary changelings. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what's been going on here on BananaCast Offsite, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's just SkyBolt Livestream. I guess I could have called it like StreamBolt, but there's probably a bigger industry that uses that or something. StreamBolt Willie. Yeah, so that's kind of fun. What else is there? What else is there to bitch about? That was the main thing of the stream, was just to inform my loving fans of that. Is there anything else going on right now? It's copyright, new videos. Like I said, a couple parodies I have in mind that I think would be fun. Hopefully everyone's surviving Corona Pona, okay? This is my favorite picture of a masked pony is you're getting mugged, darling, rarity, as Corona asserts herself across the world. There we go. Lovely. Fabulous. Yeah, so hopefully everyone is staying safe. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like we've basically moved into the normal that's been in East Asia since the original SARS outbreak. Which I should point out to everyone, in case you didn't remember, this is SARS-2. SARS-2, Corona Boogaloo. This is the official name of the virus. Yeah, so now that mask wearing is becoming a more common thing in the Western world, I continue my quest to look for a mask that will not fog up my glasses. God damn. The only masks that I've have tried are the N95 like cup masks which fit over your face that I happened to get a pair from my office when we had the California wildfires a few years ago. And they're kind of older, so they kind of smell, and not in a good way. Like one of them smells kind of bleachy for some reason. I don't know. I don't remember trying to end it with that mask or anything, but it's got a really weird chemical smell, so I haven't really been wearing that one. And then the other one works, but it's thin, and I don't want to like risk it too much in like day-to-day activities. But it's like keeps fogging up my fucking glasses, man. It's driving me crazy. So there's one more mask I'm looking at online. And I might try getting a balaclava too, to see if that works or not. Just something that won't find my glasses. Because obviously, I accept the whole premise of masks. From the very beginning, I knew that masks work. Of course they work. It's like, and I don't mind wearing it in most day-to-day activities if they won't fog up my glasses. So that's my eternal quest. Luckily for me, I have been able to work from home, teleworking, which I am #blessed about. I'm not complaining about that. It's beautiful, and it's been great, and I've been just as productive and working just as hard as I did at the office, but I don't have to spend 70 minutes on the road every day and a round trip to the downtown. Which downtown doesn't feel so good right now. Downtown machine broke. God, I love this coronavirus art so much. There was, at least, I don't know about right now, because I know Derpy Buru's kind of going through a thing right now. But at least a few months ago, when I was downloading Coronapona art, there was a lot of fantastic coronavirus art. So, so hopefully people have been enjoying those. It's so funny. I guess, spoiler, we have a disease-themed Wasteland Survival Guide episode coming up, which was written over a year ago. So, obviously, there's nothing in there with, like, an explicit, like, coronavirus segment or some topical stuff. But when it comes to the art, I think you're looking at the bit of inspiration, the plot that's going to be guiding the art. So that's fun. Yeah, and then Chris is mentioning too, of the many little updates and things going on over the East Corp channel, the very final video, the post-credits scene of Confessions as a series is a lovely little gift package I got from Chris Blessings over in Norway for myself, a Norwegian American. Both of my grandparents born in Oslo. Mom was first born in the U.S. and etc. The Dakota Americans. So anyway, yeah, go check that out. It's at the very end of the Confessions playlist. A lot of fun, very good. I've already had 1.5 of the large chocolate bars, and they are delicious. And I have the lovely framed picture up on my wall that I've shown her, and some other stuff. So it's been nice. I believe this is the year, at least as far as I'm concerned, is squeezing a lot of lemonade out of a lot of lemons. So it sucked, that virus and everything, but getting to work from home meant I was able to get Confessions done on time. You know, it sucks wearing a mask, but teleworking is really nice. And I don't mind wearing a mask once a month I'm going to stores or into like public places or whatever, versus every single day going into the downtown building, which sucks. Yeah, that was a piece of the Norway video. Is the care package got stuck in U.S. Customs because, of course, this is just completely fudged up the mail service, at least for us. Where it sat in Chicago Customs for like 5 weeks before it actually got to me. So thanks so much for that, U.S. Post Office. But at least it got to me. I guess that's something. At least it didn't get completely lost and then just returned to sender, or, buried in a warehouse in Chicago somewhere. Yeah. So, yeah, coronavirus. What else is there to talk about? Oh, Hollywood Machine broke too. That's been sad but true, where basically all of Hollywood is just canceled. All the new movies that were going to come out aren't now. Like the big the Christopher Nolan jumping over the shark, over the Nolan, his movie Tenet, not Tenant, like I kept saying for about 6 months, Tenet. Which is as silly as to say is weekend. But anyway, that movie is, who knows, is just postponed. Production for other movies that were going to come out like next year, those are all postponed. So like the Star Wars Trilogy 4 movies are all pushed out one more year, starting, I believe, December of 23. I believe that one's going to be the Benioff and Weiss trilogy. They haven't confirmed, but that seems to be the indication based on the way they were, sprinting full speed to end the Game of Thrones series without giving it a good end. So that's kind of weird, but yeah, seems like... So the bad end that we got for Game of Thrones is because they just really wanted to go over for Star Wars. So yeah, that's delayed till December 23. Oh yeah, and then the Avatar movies, which James Cameron put out like some press release, like, to all of our all of our Na'vi fans and stuff. We're so sorry, but because of the virus, we have delayed. Blah blah blah. I don't even know if they put a new date or anything yet. And all I could think about was, wait, wasn't the first sequel supposed to come out in like 2012? Like, aren't we already like 8 years late on the mythical Avatar super series? Now, I'm not going to say it's never going to come out because they built that Avatar land in Disney's Florida Adventure, and and apparently did really fucking well. Like, Jenny Nicholson, our beloved actress from Friendship is Witchcraft, she did a whole video on Avatar Land and about how surprisingly well executed it was as far as new theme park sites go. So, and it's making a lot of money. So Disney, Fox, ABC is definitely going to get that movie out there whenever James Cameron decides to actually finish it. So it'll be interesting. I am actually curious now. Is it going to be like Lord of the Rings where he immediately craps out 3, 4-hour-long movies? Who knows? It'll be kind of interesting. Oh, I know what else we could talk about. Freaking the other big bit of news. Good news this time. Well, kind of good news. I guess it depends on your perspective of what happened. Where is it? Soiled it. Where's it good? I have so many wallpapers of this. Okay, now what's the funniest wallpaper? All right, we'll just put Halo Infinite. Of course, Halo. So, I guess I haven't really talked about it on my channel too much. There was one unreleased behind the scenes kind of mini Skyblog. It was like 20 minutes long. That was just for patrons back when our Patreon had much higher gates to it, had a much higher hedge for those to, as far as content goes. By the way, if you go on the East Corp channel, you can join our Discord for free now. There's no Patreon tier for it or anything, but anyway, so Halo was a series I loved from not the beginning. I discovered it right when Halo 2 came out. I went to a LAN party, and it was just massive. There was 8 Xboxes, 32 controllers. We were doing big team battles on Coagulation all night and some of the other big maps. And literally, like, that was my Halo... My Halo, like, renaissance, Halo zeitgeist, where I immediately started getting all the music, and I just went all in on Halo. That was peak Halo for me, was right after Halo 2 released, and I got into the game, all the way through, like, 2010 or whatever. I was just this massive, massive Halo fan. And so that was my bae. Like the thing I was hyped for was Halo 3. That was my jam. Buying the game Crackdown so I could get the Halo 3 beta. I was one of those, and boy was it fun. The beta was fun, and Crackdown was surprisingly fun. I actually got a lot of good summer play out of that. Like at our own game parties, me and some friends, we'd take turns handing off, Crackdown Man, going between the three gang-themed districts. And then, what was I gonna say? So Halo 3 beta, and then there was the insurmountable. Like, they could never do an E3 as well as E3 2006. They dropped that one Halo trailer that's just so epic. It's like, it starts off and it's just like, there's the piano sting, and then it's all like dust, and and slowly it fades in, and you're seeing the ruins of the Mombasa space elevator, big rings just sitting on the ground. And then there's the other piano, what is it? It's not a pluck. Strike. That'd be the next piano strike, and you see Cortana like fade in, and she's got some spooky thing she says, and then you see Master Chief walking out of the fog, and it's like, it was so perfect. It never, at least for me, a nostalgic, Gen 2 or Halo 2 top that kind of epic introduction for a game. And of course it was the grand finale of the original Halo trilogy, which was well executed and almost everyone loved it. So I knew it would never be like that again, because it never was. It could never top that kind of excitement and zeal from a fan base. But, the successive games were fun in their own ways. We had ODST, which was kind of like, people were like, wait, what is this? It's like a spin-off game? And, of course, then the fandom developed over the years because of the interesting stuff they put into that. And then there's the Halo Wars people, which I never really followed because I suck at RTSs. Just absolutely, absolutely terrible. And so then right as soon as ODST came out, then they talked about Reach, the last Bungie Halo game, before Bungie made their deal with the devil that was Activision, or that is Activision. They made a Faustian bargain and then they died. No, but yeah, and that actually puts context though, because then Bungie spent 4 years developing Destiny. And Destiny had its own rocky start, and I would argue an ongoing series of hard sells. I don't know. I bought Destiny, and I love the Destiny music, especially that first album and the music of the spheres and stuff. But wasn't for me. The story was so paper thin, and apparently only existed in these grimoire cards on their website or whatever. Couldn't get into it. I loved Halo for the lore. So, and that was the other thing. After I played that night of Halo 2 and got the games and stuff, I started getting all the old books. I got the very first one, the Fall of Reach by Eric Nyland. And then there was the Halo game book, The Flood, which was like the Halo 1 story, but expanded. Then there was Halo First Strike, which bridged the gap between 1 and 2. And Ghosts of Onyx, and Contact Harvest, and Cole Protocol. Those OG books is my baby. I was so deep into the lore, the expanded universe, all the backstory of the Halos. It was hard to catch up on, because then as things transitioned over to 343, they started having their other books with... was it Karen Travis? And then the Forerunner trilogy written by Greg the Bearman, which were a little dense, I'll be honest. I didn't get into them right away, and it affected my enjoyment of the games, which wasn't good. And I think that's the reason with this Halo Infinite announcement, they were very explicit that you don't need to understand anything else to enjoy the game. Like, the first time I played Halo 4, I hadn't read any of the Forerunner trilogy or anything, and a lot of the game felt really weird to me because of it, because I didn't really understand the Librarian or the Didact or any of that deep lore, and then some of the terminals with, was it Charum Hakur and all those ancient humans and stuff, didn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, after Halo 5 came out, I finally did listen through the Forerunner trilogy on audiobook after Halo 5 came out. And so then I picked up Halo 5 again in like 2016, and I actually enjoyed it. It was actually kind of fun because I actually knew what the fuck was going on. What is the domain? Why is the galaxy-wide Wi-Fi turned all the way up? The galaxy-wide 5G Wi-Fi? And after I actually understood all the lore as a faithful Halo, OG acolyte that I was, I really enjoyed it. And I replayed Halo 4 just yesterday after the Halo Infinite announcement, and I really loved it. Everything felt a lot more Halo. The architecture looked right to me, even though I was a big complaint I had early on. Chief's armor, obviously, that's still the worst. The Cortana, she was okay. I'll be honest. This is really fucking shallow, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't like Cortana's face. I don't like what they did with her face in Halo 4. First of all, you remember Ed, Edd and Eddy, the famous Cartoon Network show from the 2000s? You know how Double D has that big fucking gap in his tooth? Cortana has that. She has this big like field goal gap in her front teeth, and they're also very bucked for whatever reason. I couldn't stop staring, and part of the reason I couldn't stop staring is that she wouldn't close her mouth, which is a pet peeve of mine that that goes back to middle school. I had a friend, a male friend. I should specify, this is not a gender thing. I had a male friend who would always have his mouth wide open. Like, it just drove me crazy. So seeing that in Halo 4, I couldn't not stare at her field goal, and it bothered me a little bit. Obviously, the design, I like the coloring for the Halo 3 Cortana better, like her body art patterns. I don't know what you call them, tattoos. Her tattoos, her glyphs, her, her light brights. Anyway, those were a lot better in Halo 3. I personally think hairstyle, shape of her face, light brights, just upping the resolution on that, making that, HD 4K or whatever, would have been perfectly fine. Now, the actual characterization was fantastic, obviously. The Cortana going rampant, and then the broken love story continued in Halo 5. That was all great. I'm just being shallow there for a second. But anyway. But of course, Master Chief's armor was the biggest problem, which they didn't fix in Halo 5 so much as continue to make worse, which was not good. And obviously they learned their lesson. You go learn, and so they brought back a much more modernized Mark 6 design, which actually looks like they just took Halo 3 and made it modern, which is what they should have done with Cortana. But anyway, so that was good. It had been 3 years since Halo 5. The fandom had been sort of wayward, a lot of the old fans felt like, okay, you're pushing us aside for a new fan base. It felt like a new fan base which really didn't have any loyalty to Halo, and then Halo 5 made the critical rated T for teen, which I don't like. Nope, don't like it. It doesn't matter how arbitrary the M rating in the original Halos was. You had Sergeant Johnson cursing out Marines, you had one motherfucker left and one motherfucker to the right. That was great. That kind of very raw, very genuine military kind of cursing is great. And then more realistic blood effects is great. Because yes, you can get away with alien blood, but it's like, if you're feeling sociopathic one day and you want to kill all the Marines around you to get their weapons, there should be some blood left over. That's all I'm saying. And people noticed that. We had this problem with movies 10 years ago too, where they were making PG-13 versions of M-rated movie series, and they were terrible. Everyone hated them. They all failed in execution in one form or another. There was the RoboCop remake in 2014, which was so asinine. One of the most, hard R movies of the 80s was RoboCop because of the drug use, the language, the horrible, horrible gore, the scathing political commentary. It was so great. Neutering that, it was kind of meta. It's it was a corporation neutering a beloved series to make more money from 13-year-olds? Here's a pro tip. The 13-year-olds also want the M-rated version. That's the whole reason they sneak in to see it, or get their older brother or sister or something to take them to see it. And then it happened with Total Recall. They made the Total Recall, which was apparently more faithful to the story, where there's a weird underground elevator between Britain and Australia because all the rest of the world is toxic or whatever. I kind of liked it. I liked the story, but you could always feel that edge. It's always you get up close and then you stop and you're you already said the F word one time. You can't say it again. And I just had to argument with someone else over that too. And it's people complain about things like cursing and stuff, and it's bro, it's I don't understand it. I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing, but I don't understand it. It's it always comes across to me as so ingenuine, where people want like these things that are like very adult properties should feel that way. Like, you know, anyway, I'm rambling. Where's I going with this? Okay. Halo. So everyone was waiting for the big, you know, a big Halo, you know, what was the next Halo? What are they going to do now? Halo 5 ended on a cliffhanger. And then we got that Slipstream engine trailer at E3 2018, and I personally loved it. I thought, those are good graphics. That's, you know, a brand new engine, too, built from the ground up. You know, this is me accepting all marketing at face value. Built from the ground up for the Xbox Series X. That looked great. I was excited for that. But yeah, and then last year we had that first trailer where, what's his name? I don't know the guy's name. The bearded guy, the angry guy. A regular Joe, because that apparently is his character. He's just a regular Joe soldier. When regular Joe finds Mr. Chief in space and he pulls him in and gets his armor back on and everything, it was funny. I liked him. He seems like a fun character and stuff, but it was just like, I want a little more. It wasn't quite enough. It wasn't enough. And then I think, honestly, that's the lesson of this. They have a little bit more excuse this time around because of the greater context of Corona Pwn and stuff. But it's like, it feels like they just wasn't enough. Like, they had the gameplay that they kind of outlined. That seemed like the main thing they were showcasing was, here's all the gameplay stuff. Yes, there is sprint, but there's also grappling hook. You know, here's some of the new weapons. Here's some of the old weapons that are brought back in new ways, like the Mauler becoming the Marauder or whatever it was. That's the other thing, too. Some of those Halo 3 weapons and vehicles. The OG Brute Mauler in Halo 3 and the Brute Chopper. Yeah, the big rolling wheel. Those were so fucking cool, man. I just want those back, you know. It's like when they brought back the Spectres in Halo 5. It's like, you know, that's cool and all, but it's no Love Machine. Nothing tops the Love Machine from Halo 2 as far as, you know, well, I mean, as far as non-human, the non-Warthog multi-person vehicles. Still rambling. What was I going on about? So, yeah, so Halo Infinite, the graphics are the biggest complaint people have. There's some really hilarious, just amazing memes going on about the, where's the good one? of one Brute in particular from one action shot in the middle of the game, which is just like immediately taken off to 1,000 new memes. You've got 30-year-old boomer. His name is Craig, by the way. Apparently, this character has been dubbed Craig. and you know what's funny? It's a little bit like mockery, but at the same time, there have been some really funny memes coming out of Craig. And I have to admit, it's really nice seeing Halo-themed memes again. It's just kind of like, you know, it's just something I've been... It's great to see people talking about it. Even if it's not necessarily positive, just seeing people talking about Halo again and, like, you know, that we have something new coming out. It's like, I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of a little bit excited. Where's the other one? There's one more good one I wanted to show. It's the, shoot, where is it? I just had it in my grasp. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Special boy. So anyway, and I think that's part of why the meme is working so well, because it's being used both for criticism, but also as a sort of, what's the right word? Like, well, I don't have the GIF, but there's a GIF of "there is no need to be upset." The 15-year-old meme of that monkey, of the cereal box monkey man, and then the flying lawnmower. They did a parody of that with the what do these people call the the Unforbidden or Banished? That was it. The Banished. And it's like, yeah, some people are mocking it, but there's an undercurrent, especially from those core Halo fans, of appreciation. As many missteps and people who are very hardline against sprint, which I never was. I thought sprint is fine. It's fine having integrated sprint in the game. I don't really know. I think the people who are most upset were the big multiplayer fans. And my multiplayer skills, like, withered over the lifespan of Halo Reach. Halo 3 was my peak age when I was a young, spry, non-Adderall addicted child. In Halo Reach, all the Zoomers started coming up and just whooping all of our asses. I couldn't stand that. I couldn't survive that. It was my trial by fire, and I died. And then Halo 4, I dropped off pretty quick. Like, I didn't like Halo 4 at launch. The multiplayer was crap, and everyone knew that. And then with the graphic style, and it's just like, I don't know, it didn't hold me. I was deep into Fallout by that point too, so it didn't hold me. But it's kind of nice, like, this is me after really hating those games when they first came out, having finally read through the lore and now seeing them really try to, return to the good old days. I kind of respect that, and it led me to go back to Halo 4 and see it again in a new light. And, knowing who the fuck the didactic stuff were, I could appreciate those games a lot more. They were more fun because I actually knew the meta of what was going on and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. It also benefits in these days too, where you have sites like YouTube where you can go, watch all terminals from Halo 2 Anniversary or watch all terminals from Halo 4 or whatever. So even if you're a noob or a once a once decent player who was fallen so far, all the way back down to easy. I played it on easy just so I could have fun. I just wanted to play through it again and soak up the story and have a good time, because I don't play video games because they're hard. I play them to veg out and relax. I'm not a competitive gamer anymore. I'm not a capital G gamer. I'm very much small g. Anyway, so that's kind of nice. I kind of like that. I'm hoping it's more fun Halo times. It sounds like they're bringing back full, split screen multiplayer again too, which fucking they better, because that was my biggest complaint about the Master Chief Edition. With all of the bugs and all of the stupid stuff around it, my ultimate biggest complaint ever was, you took out 4-player split screen, you rich money-grubbing corporate pieces of shit? Like, are you kidding me? This is me, who grew up playing Halo on a 20-inch CRT monitor, which all the Zoomers and Alphas out there, they have no fucking idea what that looks like. Or they've seen it in, like, their grandparents' house or something like that. Playing it on my 20-inch CRT screen in our back spare bedroom for guests and whatever. And now me, as an adult, after a year or so of salary, I have a big screen, cheap ass, not cheap ass, but like affordable, now that they're so affordable, LED, big screen TV from Vizio or whatever. Now that I have that TV and we can easily play, me and 3 friends, on one screen and, do a big team battle or 4-player co-op and go through the campaign, you're going to hardwire it so we can't? Fuck you. You kidding me? More people should have said that to their faces. Are you kidding me? That's the thing that built Halo. From Halo 1, even before there was Xbox Live, the Halo 1 LAN parties, or the bootleg Ethernet, wiring them together on LAN connections, that was the core of the fan base for its entire early years. And it's like, that was like the biggest slap in the face to all the OG Halo fans. It's like who are you trying to court? Are you just doing it so people buy more fucking Xbox Ones? The Xbox One, which had one of the worst console launches in the last 20 years, because your entire showcase was, look at all the things that aren't video games that this thing can sort of do in a really shitty way. Like, watch ESPN. Fuck ESPN. Fuck sports. This is a game machine. And they learned that lesson hard, too. They had to fire whatever the fuck his name was, that VP that conference ended when they had the DRM thing of, oh, it's an always online system. It's like, what about someone who's doesn't have it online. Like, my buddy is a submariner, a member of the United States Navy who was underwater for 3 months, and you can't really maintain a wireless connection through a fucking submarine antenna that has a bit rate of like 8 or something so small that you can only get like text messages back and forth from the Pentagon. You can't really play Xbox Live with that. It's like, oh, we have an offline system. It's called the Xbox 360. It seems like they finally got rid of those people, or finally overhauled their philosophy. At least they're trying, and that's what people are giving them credit for. They're trying, it seems like. They have more to go. There's more to do, but we are I as an old man Halo fan, I accept their offering of trying to respond to people's criticisms and trying to make it better. So I'm trying to be hopeful. I downloaded a bunch of new wallpapers. I was pulling out my music playlists again. I'm trying to be hopeful and really excited for what's to come. Because I was so very let down over those first couple of years of 343. So we'll see what happens. I'm probably going to get the Series X anyway because I need a new 4K player. Like, I don't have a 4K Blu-ray system yet, and so I think the Xbox will be my first. In the same way my PS2 was my first DVD player, my Xbone was my first regular Blu-ray player, so it seems fitting. And also, for get the most modern version of everything, 4K TV to match the 4K full version of Cyberpunk and Halo Infinite and whatever else that might actually be good coming to those systems. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I don't know if there's a new Fallout game anytime soon, but maybe that Starfield will turn out well, or whatever. I forget what it was called. Another thing in the Xbox showcase was Obsidian Skyrim, where it's like they build it on their Pillars of Eternity IP, I think, and it very much just looks like their answer to Skyrim, which will be interesting, and we'll see what the fans think of it. Because I know Outer Worlds was used as a cudgel to attack Bethesda, very rightfully so. But then once it actually launched, and once enough people played the game, it wasn't that good. It didn't leave an impression like on the internet. You don't see random like Outer Worlds memes pop up anywhere. And in the same way that like Destiny's fan base got very what's the right word? Insular or limited or whatever. There's no greater, you're not feeling the splashes in the pond from either fandoms right now. Like, I still see more memes and positive reactions to frickin' No Man's Sky. Out of nowhere, No Man's Sky became one of the greatest success stories in the modern gaming age, just because Hello Games, and as someone who'd never played the game, I made that one song parody of The Simpsons just because I saw those funny Tumblr posts. But they actually turned it around. It was the end-goodening of No Man's Sky, and they just expanded the game massively for completely free. All this new content for all those early adopters and people really, respecting them for trying to pay that off for gamers. And hopefully that's what they're doing now with Halo Infinite. And even if it might still be a little bit of a rough launch, hopefully it's not as rough as people are afraid it'll be. Hopefully the graphics are better. Hopefully all of the functionality is there. But it does seem like in context, they are doing like that and like Destiny and like No Man's Sky, where it'll just be the platform. And especially the way games are now anyway, where it's like a software update, where they'll just slowly evolve the game more and more over the course of the next 10 years or whatever. And I have to say, too, what they said about, like, yeah, you explore the entire Halo ring, whatever that is, Installation 7, or what are they calling it, Zeta Halo, whatever. I'm kind of excited about that. I really want to see how that washes out. That sounds fun. I want more Cortana. I want my Cortana Chiefy reunion. Like, she had to become a villain because she was about to die, so she had to back back herself up into the domain so she could reset and regrow and evolve and, survive. It's understandable, what's a little mass murder between friends. I just want to see her and Chief back together and resolved. That's what I'm hoping for. I want to see the end of that story. The Didact, there's rumors of him coming back. I know they killed him off in like a comic or whatever, which is really fucking sad. But there's a chance they could bring him back like symbolically. Because I know his big ending in Halo 4 was basically like, the Forerunners are dying. We can't just let humans have the mantle, which was really interesting. I have to admit, I really like the lore that they developed for the Forerunners with Greg the Bearman. I kind of, originally it was the whole thing like, humans were Forerunners, and that big quote from Guilty Spark in Halo 3, but I like the new lore they kind of expanded on, where they were competing races inheriting the galaxy from not Prometheans, those were the robots, precursors, the big, really freaky looking bug guys. And then the lore about how those precursors became the Flood, so to speak, maybe. I think that's basically how the lore washes out. Like, the Forerunner challenged the precursors for the mantle when they were about to give it to humans, who they thought were more deserving, and then they just became like YOLO and decided to reset the galaxy, which was totally not Mass Effect inspired, but whatever, and become Big Virus and just start from scratch. So yeah, it's very interesting. I like some of the lore. I haven't really been following the lore since then. I know the Banished were added in like the Halo Wars 2 lore, but like I don't really know much about that. Like, there's been a lot of Halo books lately. Like, even way more since the Forerunner trilogy and stuff, and I just have not had the time to follow any of that stuff. So I'm slowly working my way through like hidden Xperia videos to just like soak up as much of that ancillary lore as I can, so it all makes sense when we actually get in there and, we see King LeMonk Man. Whatever the fuck his name was, the head brute of the Banished. Did I have a picture of him? I don't think I have a picture of him. Anyway, thank you to all 3 viewers who are awake to tune in for this. I appreciate it. On my psychotic midnight ramblings after my video was so horrifically yeeted from my own channel. It was very sad. So yeah, I'm excited for Halo. Obviously, I'm excited for Cyberpunk too. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. 1 second. Okie dokie, I'm back. So, so it's kind of interesting. What else? I really haven't been following the other game news, because like I said, I'm really not a gamer anymore. I'm a Halo and Fallout player that is also kind of interested in Cyberpunk, so yeah, we'll see what happens there. Yeah, so, what else is there going on right now? Movies canceled. Yeah, that's interesting too. It's like, I don't know, like, is there even going to be award shows? Like, are they going to have a Academy Awards at all? Like, there are some new things that released on like streaming platforms and stuff. Like, there's a lot of really interesting series going up on streaming platforms right now. Seems like every one of the new ones has their flagship series they're really trying to use to sell their network. Like, Disney Plus had The Mandalorian last year. CBS, of course, has all their Star Trek stuff, which is also getting mixed reviews. HBO Max, they're going with what was it? Snyder Cut. Surprisingly, I can't believe the Snyder Cut is actually a thing. I remember the early memes about that. I'm like, well, it's not that different, is it? I mean, like, I thought it was mostly done with the movie when they brought in Joss Whedon, and it's like, no, apparently there's a lot of different stuff. So, okay, interesting. I guess Peacock are doing Peacock, the new NBC streaming service. They have a series on Brave New World, the Aldous Huxley book, which could be interesting, but it doesn't look interesting enough for me to consider, like, you know, getting it for a month to watch it. Free trial, and then end the free trial. But Apple TV, they are doing the Foundation series, the famous Isaac Asimov trilogy. Apparently, it's, you know, the whole series in a series, and that, I have to admit, is tempting. Not tempting enough to get an Apple, to get Apple Plus or whatever, Apple TV Plus, but I do want to check that out somehow. So maybe I'll look for, like, a friend who has that, or, you know, an online Russian friend who has that. I don't know. Let's see if I can find it somewhere, because it does look good. The graphics look good. The execution looks really well done. That's the other thing I'm sad about, is damn Corona Pona. She might have delayed Dune also. Denis Villeneuve's Dune, which I was really excited about. This is his first big movie since Blade Runner 2017, Blade Runner 2049, which I really loved, and this looks really good. Like, I don't know the books, straight up there I'll say, I don't know the books, and I didn't see the David Lynch movie. But the visuals look good, the title was cool, the music sounds good, so I'm excited. I'm hoping to see that at some point. I don't know how long that'll get delayed with everything, but I am excited, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, what else was I going to say? Dang it, what else was I going to say? It was another movie thing. Oh, as far as superhero stuff goes, too, I'm also waiting for WandaVision? I think that's it. WandaVision. WandaVision, because her name is Wanda, on Disney Plus, which is the Scarlet Witch, whose real name is Wanda something Eastern European, and then Vision, like the Vision, which is what was his name? The Iron Man AI before he became Vision. He was not Charles. It's something British. Jeeves. Ask Jeeves. Anyway, it's like a series of those two, and I love both of those characters, and I wish they'd gotten a lot more screen time in the Avengers series, so I'm really excited for that. There's the that's the other thing too, the Black Widow movie, which is, I think, basically done, but that's delayed. There's Wonder Woman 84, which a lot of people were excited about. Don't know when that's coming out, but I think that one is also basically done. So I don't know. Are they like, I don't know, because that's the thing too, is, you know, the coronavirus thing, it affects film sets. It affects especially union editors, union producers, union, you know, mixing, recording artists, gaffers, scripts, all that stuff. It's all, you know, got to protect everyone, and creative projects eventually you can sometimes do remotely, but sometimes you just need to be in the same room to do stuff when it's something like that, when it's like, you know, reviewing cuts of a movie and going over things like that. It's, I'm guessing, I can only assume, is much more tedious thing to do than these days. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just one of those things that they have to adapt to. But yeah, it's kind of it's a heck of a year, isn't it? 2020 is something. And then of course we know what the big finale is gonna be, so we'll see how that plays out. It's like rolling a dice, and all of the numbers are ones. So I'm, what else was I gonna say? I'm not really here to say anything. I was here to complain, and then now I'm just trying to extend it to the 2 hours, the standard length of a Skyblog. I've been downloading so many fun pictures. Oh, I guess I could shill for a series that is not mine, or ours, or East Corp, or anything like that. But there was a YouTube animation channel named Liam Vickers Animation, Liam Vickers, Vickers, and he's done some fun animations in the past. The most notable one is Cliffside, which is a sort of mythical creature western where there's this like wannabe sheriff guy in this small town, and he stumbles across this very nice lady in the woods, and very nice lady turns out to be a very nice spider lady, and a lot of people fell in love with that. He did a series, or not series, but like a short on, what is this called? This was called, Let's Split Up, I think it was the title of the, is a very short little thing. It's almost like just a teaser kind of thing. Wasn't necessarily a series out there, except for what in the heck these monster people are. It's a very captivating kind of animation. Anyway, another one, which used to just be a one-off, was something called Icon, or Internation Cube. It kind of looks like Interconnection, but there's missing letters in the middle. It's apparently pronounced Internation Cube. Anyway, it was a very one-off short, like 3-4 years ago. It's kind of neat. And then out of nowhere, because I happen to be subscribed, he drops this big 8 or 10 minute video on his channel, I think last week, and it's Internation Tube Q2, Lore Boogaloo. And it's a big, it's almost like a pilot thing, if you think of like short episodes or whatever, really introducing some deep, interesting things about the lore of this very adorable, on the surface, adorable looking AI robot lady that this other dude somehow finds himself being the administrator of. But it's really good. You should go check it out. It's in sort of a animatic format at the moment, but I'll be honest, I would be okay if it stayed in that format more or less, just to write more of the story. It's really fun. VAs are fun. I think he's one of the characters, and then one of his regular nice lady VAs is one of the other characters, is this main character and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. I think it's fun, compelling. It seems like there's a lot of neat, spooky lore in there. Has kind of an SCP vibe to it. And yeah, I joined his Patreon, so I goof around in his server now. I keep waiting for the big surprise of how it all ties back to the black cube of Saturn. For those of you who aren't woke on the black cube of Saturn, it is the one god. It is the creator, the all end all dark being of the universe, and it is rightly worshipped by all of our elites in their walnut groves and their secret societies and stuff. I mean, it's obviously like an X board, X-Files tier meme, but there's unironically a lot of weird lore and weird stuff related to black cubes across the ages. And Saturn, for those who don't know, Saturn was the Roman or Greek god who ate his son, Kronos, I think. And which is why it's the black time cube of Saturn. Where is that wallpaper? Come on, I know it's in here somewhere because I just downloaded the shitload of Halo wallpapers. There it is. Oni. In Halo, the deep, the deep state, super secret, the spy spook agency of the UNSC is called Oni. And their symbol is also basically a black cube. And even in one of the early books, that is their main AI, is just like this ominous looking black cube. Where is it? Oni base, New Mombasa. There we go. And then drag and drop. So for those of you who aren't woke to the cube, you better get on board before they build it on top of every spire in the world. Oh God, I'll be honest. I only I only research this stuff just for the fun of it. Like it's the and it's like it's like Alien Adventures, History Channel kind of stuff. I don't know how much truth there actually is to it. It's just really interesting that a lot of like spooky societies and stuff they they worship or have some kind of weird like black cube symbolism. And then some people even point to Islam, which one of the holiest places is the Kaaba, which is also a black cube, which is really wild, and was theoretically came to Earth from a meteorite. So that's just fun. It's one of those connect the dots kind of things where people find a symbol and draw a lot of spooky things around it. And I think to some extent too, then it's a what do you call it? Well, I guess it'd be a meme, perpetual motion thing where it's like you take some things which are kind of weird and then writers make it even weirder by creating their own spooky versions, their own, stories about it. So long story short, I have a few ideas for how I'm going to incorporate our one Lord and Savior, the Cube, into one of my stories. I don't think it's going to be in the radio play, the short form thing I have coming up, but I do have an idea for it in one of my first novels that I'm currently in early production on. I have like a chapter and a half and an outline extending, and I think I know where Mr. Cube is gonna go. So that's fun. Those of you can get woke. What other fun, silly things are there to talk about? Things that aren't serious. We're not talking about the serious things. There's way too many of them right now. Let's see here. Yeah, my entire meme folder is just like, it's just Halo stuff and some miscellaneous pony stuff always, of course. Here we go. Oh, this is kind of cool too. Some of the I guess there's this artist on I think Twitter. I'm not sure if he has some other place he does stuff. His name is Xbox Pope. But anyway, he does all these designs for like alternate like shells and stuff for Xboxes and PlayStations. I think he does other systems too. But anyway, he's been putting out some of these pictures of things for different skins for the Xbox Series X that look amazing. Like this one I really love. Like I'd be very tempted to get this one, but it's got a leading competitor, this Cyberpunk 2077 one, just because of how obnoxiously bright yellow it is. It would honestly work so well in my house. I have a very colorful house, which probably shouldn't be surprised from a freaking My Little Pony channel themed thing. I have a very colorful house that looks something like, in some ways it's almost tropical colorful, like the Havana, like, a coast boardwalk kind of thing, South Beach, Florida. And then some parts of it are just very bright primary colors, like it's like it's one of those Norwegian or whatever houses way the heck up in the snow, where the only things of color are the houses themselves that aren't black tundra or white snowcap. So anyway, that's a lot of fun. So I'm still deciding. I'm not even sure if these are real. I think it's mostly just like a graphical, like fun color design thing. But if any of these become a real option to purchase, I'm very split between these two because they both look very cool, like a lot of fun. All right, are we at 2 hours yet? 1:38, so close. So close, but I don't want to cut it off early. I want it to be a stream worth enjoying for those in the future who wake up to this and be like, wait, SkyBolt streamed on his channel? What the fuck? Okay. Oh yeah, and knock on wood, hopefully I don't get any more copyright strikes. So yeah, download any videos you do like before the channel gets nuked, I guess. I don't know. I hope that doesn't happen because I'll be honest, I don't know if I could come back from that. Like, I could repost some things that didn't get copyright struck, but it's like, we're already kind of past that point in the fandom, and I don't know. I don't know what I would do if my whole channel got nuked. I'd probably just start fresh, honestly, with a less pony-themed channel, because sort of making that movement anyway into non-pony stories and stuff. So, I don't know. Let's see what happens. Here's an evergreen meme. Every problem in the world playing Fallout. I think I've redone not every Fallout game this year, but I did a new playthrough of New Vegas, of course. And then I did a new playthrough of Fallout 4 with some different mods. And thank God for console mods. For someone who cannot work Nexus mods like myself. I did one with the Whispering Hills for Fallout 4, which is this very Silent Hills-inspired kind of mod, which has Siren Head, everyone's new internet, creepypasta monster, and some really spooky, visuals and like gameplay. It's all Silent Hills-inspired, so there's Silent Hills music and everything. So that was a lot of fun. So I guess the only thing I'm overdue on now is a new Fallout 3 playthrough, but then I got sidetracked with Halo stuff, so now I'm doing Halo stuff right now. I don't know how long that'll last. Halo doesn't have the same, like, longevity of, like, vegging out play as I used to do. Because that's the other thing, too. Back in the day, I could just go on, like, casual playlists, like Aftershock. Does anyone remember that? Probably not. As one of the Halo 2 playlists where it was just super casual, like, silly game types and stuff. It's really great for just, like, vegging after high school. Oh, God. Feel like an old man now. Remember the 90s? Remember the 2000s? Those were such good times. Oh, man. I love the I love the infinite memes. It's so great. Yeah, some people, of course, always the eternal war between Xbox and PlayStation is the PlayStations. They had the really fancy, like, EVA-looking white Wi-Fi router, PlayStation 5. And I'm over here still saying, like, bro, the Xbox Series X is the cube. You can have your fancy Wally-looking Wi-Fi router, PlayStation 5. None of that matters because you're not properly worshiping the cube. So all of so all of your ventures will fail. Xbox is employing the darkest of magic to make sure it wins this console generation. Although, in a more realistic sense, Microsoft has done something that could legitimately win them the console generation, and that is using one of the darkest and most powerful kinds of magic that exists, and that's money. Damn it, where's that image now? I just found it. Where was it? Maybe it was on my phone. Anyway, it would during the Xbox showcase, all of the interim cards in between all of the games showed all of the studios that Microsoft has bought since, like, I don't know, 3-4 years. It's insane. They've bought, like, Double Fine. They bought whoever makes Fable because they're making Fable again. They bought what is it? Obsidian, obviously, because that was in the showcase. It's all these studios that they're just buying up like Disney did basically for all these other movie and television studios. And honestly, it's genius. That's the only way we're going to win the console war against those Sony fanboys is their bootstrapping Xbox as just being an extension of PC, and PC has always been the master race of gaming. By just connecting it all under the overarching web of like Xbox Games Pass or something. And then they have, and then they just started buying up all these game studios so they could have the most first-party content, which is one of the metrics a lot of people measure the success of different game studios off of. I mean, that's why the heyday of the 360, which was in like, I want to say 2007 to 2010, like that 3-year period, it won. Like, PlayStation 3 was barely getting off the ground. They had a handful of first-party games, but it was like nothing compared to Xbox, where it was like Mass Effect, the original, was an Xbox exclusive. You had the Halos, the original BioShock was an Xbox exclusive. All these games that were just like top of the world. I don't know what they did wrong. It's like, it's same thing with Bungie. Bungie made the deal with the devil Activision in 2010 so that they could make their Destiny. And then Microsoft, I don't know what they did, where it was like they started making this big pivot away from games for the Xbone. And it's like, what the hell have you done? You ruined an entire console generation. The Xbone never recovered, and everyone knows that. Like, it's better now. It's closer to the PS4. But it's just like from that rocky start alone. And some of those very well executed E3 memes by Sony. Like when they were talking about their damn DRM thing, which is more corporate bullshit. In the theme of our copyright video, the DRM of the Xbone, which was originally announced. Then what does Sony do? They have the two guys, whatever the head of Sony America and one of the Japanese guys, they go on stage and it's like, how you share games on a Sony PlayStation 4. And the dude holds up the game box and he hands it to the other dude and the guy takes the game box out of his hands. And that was it. And that single 20-second video spelled the entire console generation. Great job, Microsoft. You fucking idiots. So, it looks like they're trying. It looks like they've really tried to clean up from their past mistakes and actually make it good this time. And as one of the I'm a brand loyalist in the sense that, like, it's just my Xbox has always been like my home entertainment center. It is my Netflix box. It is my Blu-ray player, and etc. So it's like I have an Xbox, and it's sort of like, America. I've got my, I remember the glory days. I'm still team Xbox if I had to wear labels or whatever, buying merch or hoodies or whatnot. I've held on, but it's like you guys have to start paying that back to the real fans again, because Xbox is so small worldwide also. Like, it's so much, all the foreign markets, it's, PlayStation's bigger. In the European market, it's mostly PlayStation. And I think, obviously, most of the Asian markets is PlayStation. Between the two. Obviously, Nintendo's like another thing. It's like, it's not measured in the same way as Xbox and PlayStation. Although maybe it should, because now the Nintendo Switch, they have more adult games, honestly, than Sony. Like, there's been a lot of controversies about Sony censoring their own games because of, foreign audiences or other weird, stupid reasons that people have made. But it's like, in localizations, a lot of like the riskier games or violence or content, big quotes, content for the things that might get banned for one reason or another. And it seems like Nintendo is a lot less swayed by the weird online, weird online culture about that. So it's, I don't know, maybe Nintendo just straight up passes PlayStation as the chief Japanese brand again. And more like, deeper, darker games go there rather than PlayStation, which seems intent on just like really, hedging their garden. You gotta make everything look nice. You can't offend anyone. So I don't know. That's kind of surreal. I never expected to see that per se. I thought Nintendo would just keep, stick with the old four like it's always done. It's always Mario, Pokemon, Metroid, and Zelda. And then, a couple of other, like, side series, like Animal Crossing, are also major pillars. And it's like, I don't know. They seem to be, like, really trying to expand for the older audiences again. The older, non-nostalgic audiences. Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. At least, again, speaking personally, I'm kind of excited because then it'll be a 4K Blu-ray player. that then I can start getting those, and it's an excuse to get a 4K TV for myself, and down the road an excuse to get a 4K card for my computer, which I'll probably just build a new computer eventually, because Mine is starting to show its age. My computers only seem to last like 4 or 5 years. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just because I'm a heavy user or something. I don't know. So I'm almost due for a new computer anyway. So then I'll build it ground up for like 4K card and experience. And you know what that means? Then I can have all my lovely still image cards for my parody songs or other shit can be in 4K. I was actually looking at that when I was developing my new series, and I'm like, do I really need 4K graphics for this? Of the 3 graphics I have for it? And it's like, no, this is an audio series. That's ridiculous. HD is just fine. And then I'm curious too. I'm trying to remember actually when I made the conversion over into 1080p, because all my original videos, they were not in 1080p. They were in 720, and one of the reasons for that is the monitor on my laptop was not 1080p. It was 720. And I think it was only it was early on. It was in the summer of 2013, I want to say, but it was not at the beginning. My videos were not... The secret? No, don't give me ads. My videos were not oh my gosh. All right, sit through the 5-second ad. Damn it. Here we go. So, Lament for Queen Chrysalis was still 720p. Let's try Sins of the Past. Let's see where that was. 1080. Okay, so Sins of the Past was 1080. So it was somewhere in the middle between those two in that first summer. Maybe it was... I'm trying to remember. I feel like there was one video in particular where I sprung for the Supreme HD. And now it looks like they're all like kind of lesser videos that didn't really like take on or weren't particularly special. Oh, you know what it might have been? Yeah, it was Sins of the Past. Sins of the Past was the first one to be 1080p, and it was because I put all that effort into that really nice opening with the StableTech logo and the Please Stand By Buffalo Head thing. Or no, it wasn't Please Stand By, but it's the Buffalo Head StableTech. So yeah, so that's the fun fact. My first fully HD video was with the Castle of Glass parody back in 2013. So 7 years later, then I'll have a 4K video eventually. Oh gosh. Almost at the end now. Well, it's so funny. I was going to do a regular banana cast on the East Corp channel anyway, like yesterday or something. I had been thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm in the mood for a live stream. That would be fun. That would be something kind of neat to do. And then with this happening, I guess that was my excuse. Gave me a chance to be in peak form, which is bitching about things that really only involve me. Copyright in particular. No, but it's like, I don't know, it's just one of those things, man, where it's just too far. I feel like copyright just in general has gone too far. And obviously I'm saying that from a bit of a biased perspective, clearly, but it's like, well, from the beginning, copyright was never about benefiting regular people. It was always about one of two things. It was either about censorship or it was about corporations. So some of the earliest copyright things, like the Statute of Anne, a lot of it was over the original printing press, like Gutenberg, like that kind of thing. The really old style, like Protestant Reformation kind of printing presses where regular people could read the Bible in their own language now, which is a big no-no. And that kind of stuff they were trying to suppress just because they wanted control of information. They didn't want you to print too many copies of, something seditious, literature or whatever that could be mass produced. It's the same reason why all censorship on the internet should be treated the same way as burning books. If you see a big pile of some NKVD or the National Socialists burning a big pile of books, that's the exact same thing as people being booted from platforms for politics or getting websites shut down because someone said something offensive. It's literally, that was one of the great things about the internet, was that it unshackled so many people from these real world gatekeeping systems. And now, unfortunately, the internet's matured enough where all of these corporations have built brand new gates in the digital atmosphere. So instead of, it's the same thing with just corporations in general. Instead of having 50 to 100 small corporations, you have 5 or 6 transnationals, the multinationals that have no loyalty except to themselves. And it's all going to come to a head eventually. It's like it already there's been like some major pushes for like break off entities, like YouTube competitors. There was like the VidMe, but then VidMe crashed itself. There's like that BitChute site, which is, I forget what the gimmick for that is. It's like it's all peer-to-peer seed based, I think. So the architecture is very like what's the right word? Decentralized. That's going to be the key word of the 2020s is decentralized communication. If your whole club of weirdos who worship a single letter for some reason get booted off of Twitter, then you got to go somewhere else that's more accepting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so it'll be interesting seeing how all that stuff evolves over time. Because you know what, part of it too is part of the success of the internet is people want to go where like the daring stuff is. People want to go where the interesting, spicy, like kind of non-germane content are, because no one wants, like YouTube, you see like when you're not signed in, the front page of YouTube is ghastly. You have some of the the very hand-picked creators, the very nice, simple like makeup channels and food channels, and then you've got all the late night hosts, of course. So you've got your Conans and your Jimmy Kimmels and all that stuff, and it's like they were so determined to just gut YouTube, just gut it like a fish, gut it like a deer lying dead in an open field, and let TV crawl in like it's some kind of alien creature walking it around like a skin suit, like the first Men in Black movie and the Farmer John guy. It's just so sad. And it's like you can still see some of that original YouTube on the frills. Like we had this discussion in our Discord server too. It's like when was peak YouTube? And it's like in a lot of ways now, like there's like a group of survivors that have maintained that they have stayed on the site and not been, booted off for one reason or another. And they're making interesting stuff just because they're walking that fine line. It's the art out of adversity thing. But at the same time, it's like, we're the good Christian YouTube now. And you see all these big creators that are censoring themselves now like it's daytime television. And it's really fucking sad. That's all I can say. As someone who grew up on Adult Swim and South Park and Nick at Night, which wasn't really like edgy, but Nick at Night was more adult than regular Nickelodeon. It's just really sad. I think it's really sad because here's the thing too, is the appeal to decency is always an appeal to censorship. It's the same argument as the crazy church people made in the 90s, like, oh yeah, Pokemon is the devil or Harry Potter is witchcraft. It's not the decent thing for this to be here, so it's got to be removed. It's the same thing always. It's just a different kind of person, same damn song. So anyway, hopefully my channel survives until October 21st or whenever this 90-day copyright thing expires. And then I'll try. I do have 2 or 3 really interesting parody ideas that I will try to have ready by then. And then we'll take the shot and have them out, maybe October, November, December. A really good, solid 3. Excuse me. And then in the middle, I don't know. Maybe another live stream like this, and maybe something else. I don't know. I'm trying to think what other things out of adversity, what other fun things could I do to just hold the channel over between now and then. That'll be interesting. If you have any ideas, drop it in the comments. Something you would like to see that might be kind of fun. I did my first unboxing video over on the East Corp channel, so we're all about miscellaneous kind of content. It's always experimenting, always growing. So, what's a good way to go out? What's a nice copyrighted song to end the video on? I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding, Susan. I wouldn't play something that's owned by the British recording industry. I would play something original. Let's with something fun. Oh, I know. We'll play one of my only favorite original songs that I did for Fallout Equestria. Fully original songs is very special to me. Dang it, where is it now? Oh, was it before my new computer? It might have been. I'll be gosh danged. Dang it, I can't find it now. Where did I put that song? Oh, yeah, Chris Blessings has a suggestion that myself and James Vermont could review MLP episodes. Yeah, we could try to figure out a way to do that. In a copyright safe kind of way. I think what we could do is we could show like a still from the episode or like one, title image and then just talk about the episode. I think that would probably be Sherry. I think that would be fine. Oh yeah, and to talk about the writing of it. It could be like we could do like a blind, or not blind, but like director's commentary chat, like what Red Letter Media do, where it's just their voices talking over the thing as it runs, and we just live comment and post that or something. That could be fun. We'll look into something like that. But anyway, we'll end on this old favorite. Thank you for joining me for a sort of banana cast. Thank you for fans old and new for coming around to the channel. No copyright infringement is intended. This is all just for fun, fair use. I make almost no money from this YouTube, like literally at all. Like it's net costs, buying new microphone or new software or whatever. It's nothing from the, what, $5 a month I make from advertisement or whatever. So please leave me alone. Please, no more strikes. Thank you. And we'll catch you next time on the East Corp channel over here for the next Banana Cast. How are all you ponies doing out there tonight? I know we have quite a blended audience, but you don't want another sappy number. You want something with a little bit of soul. You want something with a few stripes. Walking through the streets of the big bad city, nightlife alive and the sights so pretty. The lights and the noise like a ruckus clatter, the blended sound of the people's chatter. When I saw her standing out there in the light, dressed head to hoof in black and white, and no one batted an eye. But that striped mare was quite a sight, and struck me like a stick of dynamite. Oh heavens, what a delight. I asked her name, my heart coerced, but she said it cost a cider first to satisfy her thirst. It really was the worst. I pulled her close in deep caress, and I saw the scar beneath her dress, and oh, she stroked it with finesse. I asked her if she'd like to dance, and she took my hooves and took her stance. It was her final chance.
The striped mare and I, we waltzed to the beat. Her moves well rehearsed, her expression sweet. I said we should leave, but she didn't agree. She came up real close and she kissed me deep. I undid my coat and she pulled her piece. The crowd started to scream, the safeties were released.